All right, so we just had like a screening of your film, Darfur, Too Dark, Too Far. How did it go today here? Fabulous.
Well, it was a great screening. It's always an enlightening experience to show what's happening in other parts of the world, especially in a genocide of this magnitude. We need more and more films, we need more information about what's going on, and right now mainstream media many times does not really concentrate on an atrocity like this, but rather gives more time to things like Paris Hilton and who's the father of Anna Nicole's baby, or Michael Vick and dog fighting.
More important.
When you actually have the worst humanitarian crisis in the world going on today in Darfur, where over 3 million people have been killed, over 400,000 killed in the region called Darfur, over 2 million people displaced throughout the world, and men, women, and children being raped, killed, and burned every day.
That's great. Now, so you're the director of the film.
Yes, I am.
Now, how did you get inspired to do it yourself? Like, how did you get the funds? How did you get involved in it?
Well, the inspiration is one question, the funds is another. The inspiration, of course, came from just the human response to that kind of suffering. I think as human beings, if we don't feel a visceral response when we hear about babies being smashed, their heads being smashed in, and little girls being raped, and women being killed, and men being, whole families being wiped out, something is wrong. Something really is dead within the spirit of human beings if you can't respond to that kind of human suffering. And so that's why I think saving Darfur also means saving ourselves. We save our own souls. So it's that human connection, first human. And secondly, it's an African country which I share a direct lineage with. I'm an African American, so I have African descent, and so these people mean a direct descendant to me. As a direct descendant of Africans, I wanted to also be true to my native land, and also the source of the human suffering, as well as another atrocity affecting African people, especially after Rwanda. Even though we've seen Hotel Rwanda, we still are not responding. Over 1 million people killed in 3 months, 10,000 a day. Now here's another genocide of a greater magnitude, and yet we're not responding the way we should.
And then how is, you've screened now at the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival twice, once in New York, here in LA. How are the responses from people who come and see the film? What kind of responses are you getting?
It's overwhelming, actually. People who have seen it for the first time and knew very little about Darfur are also feeling helpless in a way, and when we had the opportunity to speak, we do Q&A at many of our screenings following. They've had an opportunity to really digest the fact that it is overwhelming and we can't change everything in one day, but what we can begin to do is change thinkability within ourselves and to start addressing racism, slavery, and trying to undo it right here in our own country, in our own backyard. So hopefully the consciousness is made, and that we begin to use the tools and start doing something very productive to help.
I'm very happy about the response of people when they do see the film. I'm very disappointed that the international community, not only America, but the international community is not responding. This problem is going to take an international response, just as it did in South Africa.
Right.
And so solution here is divesting, it's raising the level of consciousness, it's mobilizing, it's the international community really, really getting involved. We pointed out in this film that the Arab countries, the Arab League, which and many of them are Middle Eastern oil-producing countries that are making $1 billion a day in profit, have not lifted a finger, have not donated $1 towards this particular crisis. China, who is in business with the Khartoum government, is actually producing or taking 200,000 barrels of oil a day. They have to stand up and raise their voice in protest against the atrocities in Darfur. So we are happy about what we see, the response that we see from people who do see it, but it needs to be shown more. We want to take this film to churches, synagogues, masjids. People of faith need to be on the forefront. We want to take it to schools. We want to take it to festivals throughout the country. And that's why we're very thankful to the New York International Film Festival. We're very, very grateful. This is a festival that really has always, since I've been acquainted with them, shown their consciousness and their commitment to not only entertaining film, but films that inform, films that raise the level of consciousness, and films that help facilitate healing.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best. And
Thank you.
you know,
Thanks, Ruth.
yeah, thank you so much.